She looked me in the eye, standing in the hallway I built with my own hands, and said it. "This house belongs to Amir's family now. You're not allowed to come here anymore." My daughter, my only child. I stared at her for a moment. Then I smiled and nodded. I left without a word. But I took everything with me. Every memory, every sacrifice, every promise I had buried inside these walls. She thought she'd won. She didn't see what I saw. She had already lost. It started 10 years ago. My husband was still alive then. The villa was his gift to me after my cancer surgery. Said if life was cruel, at least our home wouldn't be. We raised her in that house, painted her room pink, then white, then gray, whatever phase she was in. When he died, I told her the villa would be hers one day. She held my hand and said, "I'll never let anyone take it from you, Mama." But promises, like paint, fade over time. Amir came into her life like fog, quiet, dull, everywhere. A man who never looked me in the eyes. He smiled too much, laughed at things that weren't funny, and always had an opinion about how I shouldn't be living alone in such a big place. He was building something, I just didn't know what, until the papers came. She brought them to me in a white folder, said it was just a small update to the title deed, that it was easier to manage through Amir's business, that it would protect the villa for our family's future. I didn't sign, but later, when I checked the registry, my name was gone. Transferred digitally without my consent. He worked at the land office, had friends, systems, power I hadn't seen before. They'd taken it, legally, quietly, and she stood by him. I could have fought, sued, screamed, but I didn't. I just started packing. One night she came over and found me folding clothes. "Why are you being so dramatic?" she asked. I said nothing, just handed her the keys. That's when she said it. "This is theirs now. You are not allowed to come." I didn't speak, but in my silence, something shifted. She took the house. I took the war. I moved in with an old friend, slept on a mattress on the floor for a week. Then I got to work. The first thing I did was check the plumbing. Not the actual plumbing, the company that installed it, and the roofers, and the security system, and the interior designer. You see, the house may no longer be mine, but I built it. I knew every screw, every contractor, every fault line. And one of those faults? The permit for occupancy. Still pending, still incomplete. Because my husband, God bless his lazy soul, never signed the last environmental clearance after the renovation. The house, on paper, was technically uninhabitable, and Amir didn't know. Next came the lawyers. I didn't hire a big firm. I called Haroon, an old student of mine from when I taught law part-time. Smart, hungry, loyal. We found the cracks, not just in the villa, but in the transfer. Forged e-signature, no witnesses, a friend who notarized something he wasn't even present for. It was enough. Enough to freeze the deed, and I did just that. 3 days before they were supposed to move in. On moving day, I stood at the edge of the driveway. They came in 2 SUVs, her in the front seat, Amir behind her, directing workers. Boxes, carpets, a television too big for the wall. She stepped out and saw me. "Why are you here?" she snapped. I didn't answer, just waited, until the security guard stopped Amir at the gate. "Sorry, sir," he said. "We've been told the property's under investigation. You can't move in." He laughed, until 2 police officers stepped out from the car behind them. Fraud, forgery, intent to defraud a senior citizen. It wasn't an arrest, not yet, but it was loud, public, humiliating. Amir argued, yelled. My daughter stood frozen. I walked past them into my house. And before I closed the door, I looked her dead in the eyes. "You gave this to them," I said. "Now watch them lose it." 2 weeks later, the court reversed the deed. Not back to me, but into a trust under my control. Irrevocable, ironclad. They couldn't touch it, ever again. And I didn't move back in. I rented it out to a charity that houses abused women and children. They filled it with laughter, with healing, with people who understood the value of walls that don't betray. Now I live in a small flat, quiet, clean, paid in full. No portraits, no history, but peace. Sometimes she calls. I don't answer, because the worst thing I ever did to her wasn't taking back the villa. It was showing her that she could be replaced in it, and that I never needed her to survive. They thought they could bury me in the walls I built, but I left them the shovel, and I watched them dig.